Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. You are not gonna believe this. I don't even believe it. China suspends the trading of precious metals because the markets are too dangerous. They're basically trying to save stupid investors from themselves, assuming these highly volatile markets will cause many people to lose money. I mean, is this even a real thing? Is this some type of late 8-month-old April Fool's joke that's just now hitting the press? I don't know. But I do know one thing. You heard it here first, folks. Let's jump in the video. So, sometimes when you're skimming through something and you read something and it registers in your mind a couple seconds later, and then you gotta reread it to make sure that that's actually what you just read. That's what happened here. But when I did reread it, I tried to assume what they meant by this because it's such a broad title. It could mean several different things. I thought it was going to be some type of legal obligation, or they had to make an account with something, or something was switching, or but the real reason was something I didn't even think was possible. So, let's jump into this. The link to this article will be in the description. This is going to be an interesting video, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, perspectives, opinions, and insight on this very interesting topic. Three of China's major state-owned banks announced on Friday they will suspend the opening of new accounts for their precious metal investment products from Saturday amid increased volatility in global and domestic precious metal prices. Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, the ICBC, said in a notice on its website it would suspend the opening of new individual gold, silver, and other precious metal investment trading accounts from Saturday via all channels, including over-the-counter and online or mobile banking. Affected by the global epidemic situation and the international political and economic situation, international and domestic precious metal prices continue to show volatility, market risks, and uncertainties increased. So they're saying that there's a lot of risks, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of volatility, and people don't know how to trade very good during these scenarios or in this type of environment. Bank of Communications and China Construction Bank also suspended new account openings for their precious metal trading and investment products from noon on Saturday and from Monday, respectively. The banks warned investors to pay attention to market and volatility risks and to manage trading and conduct investment transactions prudently and rationally, according to statements released on Friday. And I don't agree with them just, not allowing people to literally that's a type of censorship. That's a type of manipulation that I've never seen before. Now, I do get I don't agree with it, but I understand why. See, just because I understand something doesn't mean I agree with it, right? I can understand, you know, X, Y, and Z. It doesn't mean I agree with X, Y, and Z, right? So I understand their point. Markets are very volatile. People invest emotionally, right? That's why on this channel, I always talk about take the emotional attachment out of your investing, because that's where you lose a lot of money. You got to invest with your head, not your heart. You got to think realistically, not, you can't live in this fantasy land just hoping that your self willpower will change the markets. It's not going to happen. You could hope something as much as you want, but hope alone will not be sufficient enough to make you any money. Probably lose you a lot of money. So they're saying that markets are crazy right now. We're living in crazy times. There's so much going on, right? It's the end of the year. There's so much that they just want to allow people to not make the mistakes that they're about to make. So we'll just suspend the accounts in general, which is a very interesting way to go about it. They could just warn investors, or put some type of limitation on the amount you're allowed to trade or something, or I don't know. But what do you think about this? Because obviously this is for trading, right? This isn't telling people not to buy precious metals. This isn't banning the sale of silver, in a whole. It looks like it's not, expelled. Like when you're in school, if you get suspended, you're allowed to come back in a week or two. When you get expelled, that means you're gone for good. Suspension, suspending means it's gonna come back, but probably once things settle down. Now, anyone who is trading, right? The key word is trading during these times. Of course, it's very risky. I don't marginal trade. I'm not a day trader. I'm not one of those people that watches the markets every 5 seconds or checks their phone or checks their laptop, the exchanges every 20 seconds, seeing if it's up or down to see if you should make a several $100 trade and risk it all for the biscuit. It's just not worth it. It's just not relevant to me. That's how you drive yourself insane, especially during volatile markets, right? But it's just interesting to see that they're actually allowed to do this. So spot gold, and I'm curious actually what the investors think of this. Spot gold prices began sliding after November 9th as news of the first successful late-stage novel vaccine trial prompted investors to dump safe haven bullion and flock to riskier assets. They're down nearly 4% this month. And here we go. This is actually what I was trying to look for in my last video. This is explaining a lot of why precious metals are down right now in the first place. Because there's this new euphoric idea, this new euphoric hope of the economy of the world starting to recover and getting better next year, which is definitely false, right? If anyone thinks that, they don't understand what's actually happening behind the scenes, behind closed doors. Things are going to get a lot worse. Even if the vaccine does come out, things are still going to get a lot worse. The pandemic is one of the many things that are heavily influencing the rate of or how stable the economy is. I mean, as soon as that stimulus word, that $1 trillion stimulus word starts getting thrown out, the dollar is on its last leg already before this pandemic. Who's going to know how big of an effect that's going to have? We have a silver shortage, right? Huge demand. Things are only going to get worse before they get any better, and that's something most people don't want to admit. Mainstream media is not going to talk about, so of course people are going to have this false perspective, this false idea of the reality of things. So Bank of China and Bank of Communications in early November had already warned investors they could restrict trading. See, that's what I thought would be happening. Like restricted down to you can only make X amount of trades or X amount of like a cutoff limit, a price cutoff limit. But to just suspend it completely I never thought that could happen. So they're restricting trading of precious metals and foreign exchange products if the U.S. presidential election fueled market volatility. So I don't know. I like how they knew, obviously, they knew that the election was going to cause crazy volatile prices. They are letting people know that everyone is being affected by everything that happens globally. What happens in China is affected by the United States and vice versa. And especially since the USD is the world's reserve currency, people rely on us. And since moving forwards, we know what's about to happen. It's only going to make things that much worse. I mean, looking next year, looking into the year 2021, there's a number of different things. There's a number of different scenarios that could play out, right? The first scenario, stimulus gets out, hurts the economy a little bit, things recover. But even if that happens, silver can still come out on top, not only from the dollar index being hurt, since the dollar and gold are directly correlated, but then we have the green energy stimulus since Biden won. Now, even if Trump won, the same thing would be happening, not only with stimulus, but then in a different direction. I mean, no matter what happens, gold and silver is going to come out on top. It's honestly one of the only things that I can say that about. I could tell you 100 reasons why stocks will not be profitable next year. Not too many reasons why. And I could say the exact opposite about precious metals. I can tell you 100 reasons why precious metals will be profitable and not too many reasons why not. See, moving forwards, especially over the next 3 to 5 years, right? The next 3 to 5 years is when things get really interesting. I don't think people understand. And actually, just to refer back to my main point, is when stimulus gets thrown out, I don't think people understand how big of a difference $1 billion stimulus is compared to trillion. $1 trillion is a lot bigger than $1 billion, and I don't think people can fathom how much bigger that is. I don't think the human brain can fathom how much bigger $1 trillion is than a billion. If $1 billion silver led, or if $1 billion stimulus led to $50 silver in 2008 to 2011, imagine what $1 trillion silver or $1 trillion stimulus is going to do from 2021 until 2024, 25. Not only that, but then also after the stimulus is given out, then we have green energy, 5G technology, silver ion batteries, electric vehicles. The list goes on. So silver demand is up while the price is up, but there's a shortage. I mean, do you see how the stars are all aligning? Do you see how the perfect storm is here? Do you see why silver is a ticking time bomb ready to explode like dynamite? If you could fast forward in 5 years from now, look back on today's time, understanding everything that's going on, you would say, wow, how was I so stupid? How did I not see that silver was about to explode? How did I not see that? I mean, everything is so blatantly obvious in front of us, but for some reason we still hesitate, right? I don't, but some people do. I don't think you do either. I think everyone that watches my channel, we're smarter than the average investors, right? I don't know why, but silver stackers, we just understand things from a deeper perspective than most people. And it's true. I swear on everything, it's true. Most people, they don't think realistically. And that's kind of what China's saying. People invest emotionally. They invest with their heart, not their head. People invest off of ego. People want to be right. They won't admit, they won't accept, they won't acknowledge if something is showing differently than what they believe in. And they won't adapt to it. They won't adjust to it. They won't admit it. And they'll argue against it, swearing that they're right and we're wrong. See, silver stackers, we don't really have to argue because silver is money within itself anyways, but we also do adapt and adjust and we branch out. I mean, that gold backed, or that cryptocurrency backed by gold. I mean, I'm investing into that now because yes, crypto is very sketchy because it's not backed by anything, but now there's a crypto backed by physical gold, and I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to diversify my portfolio, and I have an opportunity to make a lot of money from that. Links in the description, by the way, if you want to check that out. But regardless, we're opportunistic and we're realists, right? We understand the direction of the economy and what that's going to do to the markets. See, that's why silver stackers, we're smarter. And I don't just mean like IQ smarter. We think things through further. Investors have to invest. It's not right now we're looking at the future. Most people don't look at the future when they're investing. They look at right now. You got to think forwards. When stimulus is going to throw out, especially $1 trillion, that's going to have an effect on the economy and the dollar, and that's going to also have a ripple effect on everything else. And that ripple effect on everything else is going to be very bullish for gold and silver. So if you can see the direction, it's almost like we have a time machine, right? We can go forwards, look at things that most people don't see. And that's how we get in before the curve, right? And I can say the same thing with Bitcoin, right? I understood it. It made sense. I got in before the curve, bought my Bitcoin around $1,800. Most people started buying Bitcoin around $18,000, right? Silver stackers, we're built differently. Our mind works differently, and that's also why we invest into the safest, smartest thing as well. So, I don't know. I kind of went off topic a little bit at the end, but it still had a lot to do with this article, honestly. So, let me know what you think about all this. I mean, things are getting interesting. I understand that right now times are very weird. I mean, times are very unstable, so we cannot expect stable prices, right? A lot of unstable investors, so we're going to see a lot of unstable prices. And I don't think things are going to start settling down anytime soon, or as soon as anyone thinks as well. Like I said, things are going to get a lot crazier before they get a lot better. And people don't know that's coming, so they're going to get hit the hardest. So you got to be prepared. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I post daily videos every single day. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.